Congressman John Fleming, Dr. John Fleming. Hey, Dr. John, how are you this morning?
Good morning, Robert. Erin, I'm doing great, although I'm shivering. It's chilly up here in Washington.
This is going to sound horrible, I don't mean it like this, when are you done?
Officially, my office is over on January 2nd. The new congressman for the 4th District will be sworn in on January 3rd, but for all intents and purposes, we'll probably be out of Washington by December 10th.
December 10th?
Wow, about a week left.
So do you have some kind of big party? Do you have some kind of huge hullabaloo planned?
I really don't. There are plenty of retirement parties and go-away parties up here. People who are throwing this and that. But, no, I don't really have an interest in doing that. I'm just saying temporary goodbyes to a lot of friends and colleagues. And, of course, I'll have the opportunity to visit from time to time and say hello and certainly be in support of our newest congressman for the 4th District when he comes in.
Obviously, you kind of have a dog in that hunt, right?
Yeah, I endorsed Mike Johnson, as you know. I think he'll make a tremendous congressman, very conservative and someone who defends liberty, somebody who I think will work very well with the Trump administration and who will support our cause to repeal and replace Obamacare, build a wall on the border, destroy ISIS, support our military bases, to defend religious liberty, which has been under attack for at least the 8 years that Obama has been in. So I think that my replacement will be certainly up to speed from day one.
Are you done with public service in terms of, running for office?
Well, I don't know. I don't have any plans to run for an elected office. And, when I ran for Senate, I did so deliberately without any plans after.
Will you go back to medical practice, or will you concentrate on your businesses?
I could do both. My sons are expanding our business. My medical practice is still ongoing. In fact, we have a new doctor and we have 3 nurse practitioners. So I could do that, but I think I'm just going to take some time off.
To put it bluntly, Dr. John, Erin's really looking for a concierge physician, and we were talking. Erin and I were talking yesterday about what is the number one with a bullet thing that Donald Trump has to do early on to keep the momentum going, shall we say? Well,
if you're looking at chronological order, I'll let you in on a secret that people don't know, and that is that everything is being driven by the Senate calendar. Because when it comes to getting new laws passed in the Senate is the big holdup. We can do things within 24, 48 hours in the House that can take the Senate sometimes weeks to do. So, for instance, we want to repeal Obamacare. That's probably number one on our priority. Through reconciliation, we're actually going to pass some bills early, even I'll get a chance to vote for, that'll set the stage for that in January. So that is our number one priority, at least chronologically speaking. And then, tax reform is perhaps number 2. Immediately, regulations are going to be peeled back. That's something that President Trump will be able to do much on his own.
Well, let me ask you about his appointments. His appointment of, everybody calls him Mad Dog, Mattis, Defense Secretary. Are you optimistic about that? What does that mean for Barksdale?
Well, I think it's good for Barksdale because the people he's appointing, like me, support a stronger and more ready force, Air Force, Navy, and Army. And we've actually, sequestration began a serious drawdown on troops, which has really hurt our readiness and our strength. And we're passing some legislation this week, in fact, the NDAA, which may come up today, which is our annual defense bill, which will stop the drawdown. And then when President Trump takes office, he will end sequestration. And so all of these appointees that are linked to the military will be supportive of that effort. So that's going to help Barksdale tremendously. That way we'll have more airmen there. We'll have more readiness there, more dollars for training and preparation. The same is true of Fort Polk. We've had a serious drawdown of Army people. Fortunately, I've been able to protect Fort Polk, but now Fort Polk should be in good shape going forward.
Dr. John, just about a minute or so, during the campaign when Donald Trump said, if I'm elected president, I'll figure out a way to keep Carrier Air Conditioning, the Indiana company, and 1,000 jobs was going to move to Mexico. He said, I'll figure out a way to keep them here. Barack Obama said that was ludicrous. He made fun of Trump for that. Even before he takes office, Trump's figured out a way, done a deal. Carrier is going to stay. You think this is a portend, an omen of things to come during a Trump administration?
I really do, Robert, and that's been my frustration for 8 years, is people in Washington, people like Barack Obama, who's never had a real job but only an elected position. They're in such a bubble. They just believe in a world that they speak to each other about, but not one that actually exists. Donald Trump, like me, a businessman, understands that if you really do sit down and try to figure out solutions, you can solve problems. And we have a huge problem with the loss of jobs, decreased income, the danger of higher taxes and regulation on our economy. And he gets it. So I'm confident that that's what he will be applying for the next 8 years. And I look for probably the fastest growing economy that we've seen since the Reagan years.